Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Kerry Sheehan, as Paul said, Managing Director of andwis Lifts and Entrances. And I have the pleasure of giving an overview this morning and then moving on to lifts, and then supported by Stuart and John. They'll be giving you an overview of entrances and Meesons. So who are we? So we are split into the two divisions, lifts and entrances, working closely together. But within those divisions, we have some quality individual companies. In lifts at the moment, we will be going to market with DAB, Classic, Unique and Concept. And in our entrances division, Etron and Ascot form our national delivery, and Meesons our specialist supplier. But what brings us all together is our technical focused service delivery. So we are specialists in our own right, but we are technically focused on what we do. Our engineers are very proud to wear the andwis badge, and as James said earlier on, whilst we deliver in lifts and entrances specifically, when we come across opportunities for cross-working and hopefully giving a better solution to you as our clients, then we will work together with the rest of andwis. So what are we trying to be? I was speaking earlier to one of the clients, and I've been with andwis now for just over 12 months, but I came from an FM company. And when I dealt with certain sectors, lifts particularly, I found that dealing with them was really quite hard. And I feel that if we can get the customer service right across everything we do, we will be able to deliver to you and we'll be able to grow as a company. So what are we aiming to be? We're aiming to be the most respected lift and entrances service and projects business, combining national capability but keeping local ownership. And I think that's really quite important, that some of our competitors have centralised, nationalised, and lost that local ownership, and that's what's going to separate us. So how are we going to do that? Communicating clearly. I think trust with our clients is absolutely crucial. We won't get everything right first time, but it's communicating with you, working out how we do that and how we finish the jobs and give you that information that matters. Our colleagues, we are a technical delivery business. We want to create a place where people want to come to work and want to join us so we can deliver those solutions. And also with our stakeholders, so whether that be our supply partners, they are really crucial that that is part of a package as we move forward. So our great client experiences, consistency and responsiveness, but also through the data we can give you. More and more now we need more data, we need more information, more real time for our end solutions. So we are investing our systems across L&E. And finally, our people, our most important asset. We won't be replaced by AI in what we do out on sites. We need technical people, whether that's engineering or in our back offices. So through part of one of our acquisitions, we want to invest now in apprenticeships, in developing our technical skills, because ultimately that will deliver to you as our client. So specifically on lifts, as I say, my colleagues will talk about entrances in a moment, but what are we doing? So we feel it's quite important that over the journey of andwis, over the last 3 years, we have bought some quality companies. We started off with Classic Lifts back three and a half years ago, moving through southern counties, Bullet Lift Services, Kent, Unique, we're also down in Kent, DAB, L-Serve down my neck of the woods in Bristol, and finally Concept in the Midlands. And as it was going through, these companies all brought their own specialisms, their own unique customer service and development. And as we've got bigger, we feel that as we try and get the best out of all those companies, it's time to move forward with a common brand. A common brand allows that team to work together. And it's not one company taking over another. It is about taking the best of all of our companies and bringing that solution through to you. So moving forward now, we are going to be trading as andwis Lifts, and we think this will allow our customers to have one clear point of contact, and we can deal with you whether you're a national provider with multiple regions or whether you are a local client with 1 or 2 buildings. We can deliver that solution to you. Excuse me. So what have we created? We are now a top 5 lift company in our industry in lifts. We talk a lot about the big 4. The big 4 have recently become probably the big 3, with Coney taking over TKE. Okay, but we are very much up there. But size isn't always important, okay? But it does give us a density to deliver the requirements across the country. We are now have 25,000 units in service, okay, across the whole country. We also, when it comes to install, we deliver approximately 250 new lifts across. So whether it be service, maintenance, and projects, we can deliver the full capacity. And as I say, this is building on the experience we've had across all the companies we've acquired. And the relevant accreditations, as you would expect, deliver to you. So what does that mean? So that pretty map in the middle there shows all the installed assets we have. So when we say we are national, we have got that full stretch across the whole of the UK there. And why does that matter? Because that allows us to employ circa 250 directly employed skilled engineers and technicians. What does that mean for you though? That means better response times. So when things do break, we can respond, but local ownership. So we're not trawling somebody from London down to Bristol or vice versa. We are in that control, so then when something happens, we can respond really quite quickly. We complete over 160,000 ppm and reactive visits a year. We believe that maintenance, planned maintenance, ensures your assets' reliability going forward. So we put a lot of kudos into what we do on a planned maintenance basis. Once again, recognize that sometimes the actual user of our stuff isn't necessarily the people sat in this room. It might be a residential building, a care home, or an office block. So once again, by having that quality servicing, we allow that to be uptimed. But if your lift moves through, it's getting a bit aged, it needs a modernization, an upgrade, or even an install, once again, we have a projects team that can install right the way through from modernization to a brand new lift. And we service those 250 units. But through our technical teams, our sales team and our management team, we can help you through that journey. So if it is a modernization that's right, a controller replacement, then we will do that for you. But if it comes to the point where you have to replace the whole unit, then once again, manage that right the way through our local management teams. And finally, just reiterating the point about our people. One of the companies you saw earlier that we acquired, Bullet Lift Services, also had a training division. So we're looking at putting our training through them, developing our teams up through to the MVQ level 4s, also looking at apprenticeships, because as we all know, in technical businesses, getting hold of good engineers, keeping good engineers, and making it a place to work is absolutely essential. And as somebody that once upon a time was an apprentice, I feel if you train people, you get a little bit more loyalty out of them. So it will be repeated a lot today, national capability, local ownership. But to truly show there is local ownerships, you can see that we have continued to invest in our regional offices. So right the way across, so up in the northeast, we've got an office there. In the northwest, we have currently 2 offices in Haydock and in Runcorn. Then over in the northwest, in Yorkshire, we have Rotherham, down into the Midlands with 2 offices, over in London, or Kent, as I keep getting told it's not necessarily London, but we have Dartford and Sidcup, and down on the south coast in Dorset, and then finally over to my neck of the woods in Bristol. So local people owning the solution, scheduling the engineers, dealing with local clients. So if you've got a national client and there's a local premise, we'll deal with it. If you're a regional team, once again, we can have that interaction with you. So we feel that that is really quite important and will separate us from the other national players within the lift industry. So the other part of the spoke to the wheel of delivery is not only the directly employed engineers or teams, it is how do we manage our supply chain, getting hold of spare parts. And you can see the names around our circle there, that we have supplier agreements with our distribution saying to get hold of those spares, because when your lift breaks down, we need to get that solution quickly. But also the engineers are able to diagnose and correct faults on the range of a lift equipment. So it doesn't have to be a certain type of equipment for us to be able to maintain it. If your installed lift is from one of the big 4, your Otis's and your Coney's, we can still manage that for you and get it to a solution. Okay, so why have we gone to andwis lifts? Why have we gone to the brand? We are aspiring to be the most respected independent lift company. We want to have that national delivery capability, which hopefully I've demonstrated we've got at the moment, keeping local ownership, local control. We want to be respected by the clients, and that will only be judged by the service levels we give you. But if we do get something wrong, we want to communicate and manage that for you. Consistent approach to delivery, whether it's up in the northeast or down on the south coast, with one common system, Simpro, will be able to give you that information going forward. And we want to be considered in the top band of what we do. But why does that matter to you? You know, the one team ethos, we think we can give you a better response. We think we can give you a better service by bringing these teams together. Client understanding, one brand to deal with all your needs, so you only have to come to one point of contact to get that delivery. But also, through taking the best of all our individual companies, if you've had a relationship with somebody that was formerly Concept or formerly Classic, those relationships are still there, we can build upon them. I said about the investment in systems in Simpro, all of our companies will be operating off the same system. andwis lifts will operate off that same system, so whether it comes to portal and availability of data, it will be there. The density of engineers allows for a great PPM, but great reactive when it's needed, so we can respond in a timely fashion. And on a national and regional account focus, one point of contact, one point of ownership, local delivery. As I say at the bottom, for me, relationships are absolutely key. If we can understand what you are, what you want from us, we can attain whether it be the information, the data, but also our service levels. Okay, so we feel that the transition to andwis lifts creates a really fresh new lift company within the UK, but building on all the positives and the trusted experts that we've had from the companies that have come together to form it. Okay. I don't know whether it's questions at the end, but if I can hand over firstly, please, to Stuart, to give you an overview of Ascot and Etron.
My name's Stuart Dale. I'm the head of sales for Etron, and I'm also part of the executive committee for ADSA. ADSA is an abbreviation for the Automatic Door Suppliers Association, and we are the leading industry association for power pedestrian doors. I'm the current chair of the association as well, and all of the businesses within the entrance division, Etron, Ascot and Meesons, all of the engineers are qualified to the standards of EN 16005, BS 7036-0 and PR EN 17352, which is for speed lanes. The services that we offer, we do everything through the life cycle of the products that I'm going to mention shortly. So we do automatic doors, we do roller shutters, we do speed lanes, we do revolving doors, etc. We are, in my opinion, one of the leading companies in the industry. My background has predominantly been working for large global OEMs, and their route to market is predominantly about their actual own products. What we can do is we can service and maintain every product on the estate. Our client base haven't always been with the same supplier over the period of those estates. So we can actually, as I've mentioned, service, maintain and upgrade the full life cycle of any operator in the marketplace. We're headquartered in Bolton, but then we also have regional distribution hubs and offices throughout the UK. As Kerry mentioned, we offer a national service, but we still have the regional focus. Our client base is ever expanding. Some of them are in the room today. We are a trusted partner of these FM companies and end users. You know, we're currently delivering over 1,000 PPMs on a monthly basis. We're doing over 1,000 reactive calls, and communication is key. it's all about communication. That's what the client requires. That's what they want. So as soon as a call gets logged, we basically work to all of the SLAs and the KPIs. They get a response within 30 minutes. They get the engineer's name, their registration, and their security levels as well. And as I say, it's ever expanding, but we're a real trusted partner. And that's me.
So yeah, my name's John. I look after the Meesons business, which I think Kerry's told us is part of the entrance division and probably slightly different to anything that we've heard about today. So, well, first of all, because I've got 2 videos in my presentation, so I don't have to talk as much, which we'll just look at the first one. It'll just give you an idea of the type of environment and the type of stuff that Meesons gets involved with. We are essentially a provider of medium and high security entrance systems. That's kind of what we do, very project-led. We look after it for the life cycle of those products. But what we don't do is kind of go after the all-market piece. So actually, like a slight divergence to that you've been hearing today. But when you need something secured, physically secured, to stop the wrong people getting in and allow the right people, correct people to get in, that's kind of where we step in. We have a broad range and actually relatively unique range of product offering, ranging from, as you saw in the video there, what we would call speed gates or speed lanes, relatively low to medium security, right up to, I guess, this kind of stuff here, security portals and revolving doors. And they are generally deployed in high-value assets to protect zones, areas, people, or assets from generally attack, physical, cyber, and or both. So that's kind of the sort of areas that we operate in, and we do it by getting involved really, really early, so design specification with security consultants, with architects, with end users. So we might work with some of you guys that are in the room, but we'd also sit with your end user and understand the security requirements, what are they protecting, who from, what's the threat mitigation, what's the risk analysis, and we would design and work with the security teams to design the kind of holistic solution there. We do supply and install on a UK basis, but also internationally. So a lot of our clients are, I guess, borderless. We always talk about the data center world, for example, and we are in 19 different territories with several different data center operators. So what we'll do is we'll design a concept with those guys and it will roll out internationally or nationally. And then I guess the flip side of that is that we can also do a similar piece on a rollout basis nationally. So we've got a couple of clients in here now where we look after the whole portfolio. We've grown with those clients. We've installed across their range of portfolio. As they open new sites, we will jump in and install their chosen security solution. And we do that primarily by assigning project managers who are technical expertise, so all the drawings, all the design pieces in-house. And I think something that makes us relatively unique in the security world is that we have a level of security clearance that isn't easy to do, easy to obtain, or easy to copy. So all of our technicians have a basic level of clearance, BPSS, for example. We've got multiple technicians that are security cleared SC, that level of SC clearance, and we've even go right up to EDV, which is an enhanced developed vetting process. So you guys might have seen in the news relatively recently, there was a certain politician whose security clearance was brought into question. So what he had was DV. What we have certain people in our team that have got EDV. So that means it's fairly invasive, actually. They talk to your family and they look at your bank and they look at your internet and they interview people and all that sort of stuff. So what that means is that we've got access to the required level of information that we need to make sure the security is correct. And we're protecting, national assets, MPSA or CPNI, big red buttons, that sort of thing. That's the kind of stuff that we can get into, as well as making sure that you can get to the gym 24/7 on a 6 a.m. on a Friday morning, because actually, you know what, your membership's going to work and you're going to get through. Again, national service and maintenance. And again, I think just to reiterate some of the certifications, and I think James there had the biggest set of certifications I've ever seen, but for us, this is much more about the product piece. So just for those of you that don't know, these are attack resistance pieces. These show essentially that the product can be beaten up for a period of time and it will protect that asset for that designated or designed period of time. And this is kind of how we do it. We literally build the product, it goes off to a third party who is an internationally recognised piece, and they try and kill it within a certain period of time with a certain toolkit. Fortunately, they didn't, and they haven't, and we've got the broadest range of products on the market that can do this. So if your clients say this piece is really important, it's a data room, it's a really secure piece. Banks, for example, we do a lot in banking environment, we do a lot in DCs. This is the sort of stuff that we can support with. Our main areas of operation, fitness and leisure is really big for us. And whilst we might not be necessarily protecting somebody from walking out with a 25 kg dumbbell, that is much more about the revenue protection and the membership protection and making people feel safe and secure in that environment. And we go right the way to data centers where it's not about the people and it's actually about the data that's in there and preventing that type of piece. So we will get involved as early as possible. We'll hold hands all the way through the design process. We'll supply, we'll install, and we'll maintain afterwards. And that's kind of us, I guess. And this just gives you a little bit of an example of some of the stuff we do. I don't know if any of you guys watched the Apple series Slow Horses, and they did the MI6 building. Well, that's that. And that was part of our kit that they were going through in there, and then just some nice Speedgate jobs there as well. I think that's me.